After 20 plus years, I'm in this region and in this industry, it still fascinates me.
But it was completely different sport.
I came to know about Padel a few years back. We have done a fantastic job there.
How with polycarbonate or with a skylight, you can manage to avoid that vision disruption when they are putting the head up for a smash.
Now in the GCC, they are also going to that direction.
Big investment, they need a big return.
A few decades, we are doing the envelopes.
The big consumption in the warehouse are the ACs. We are in an exclusive country.
It's a large challenge.
We are in a Maglish culture. We are sitting here today to know more about the polycarbonate.
All right, Antonio, thank you for being here.
Muchas gracias por tu invitación, amigo. It's a pleasure for me always.
Pleasure.
Your message or your call, you know that is a wonderful message, and always I am in for any plan.
We are somehow in the same
Here
industry.
Or outside, you know.
Of course, outside.
Outside more than
More
inside.
fun. Definitely, of course, we are friends, and it so happened that we are in the same industry, no? In construction,
in the same suffering days.
The same, yes. I mean, nice suffering, eh? Nice challenges.
Yeah, nice challenge. You are in Dubai or in Emirates in general, and the challenge are every day. No, that's why I think
very dynamic.
Our roots are coming stronger here because this country with the challenge that we face is every day in any industry, no, but in our industry also, which we know, it's a fantastic way to survive and to keep pushing. No?
Yeah, of course. And that helps you to build the ambition. You know, yes. I like it here because of the ambition. You always, learn from these challenges. You build something, you go forward, and, you do something.
And the country also itself, no, it's giving you the tools to make it easier, that ambitious to be. Yeah,
I think you're absolutely right. Look, if you're not ambitious here, you're missing it. You're left behind. Everything is so fast. It's a very dynamic. The entire GCC. Of course, UAE is one of the most.
You have to be with the flow of the country. Otherwise, you always keep it on the queue, and later on, it's very difficult to recover it. You have to be always updated and pushing, as I told you, every day. And these things, it helps to entrepreneurs or like us, no?
Absolutely. We have so many interesting meetings in this office, and also in many offices with our clients, and where we meet, industry leaders, contractors, designers, manufacturers, experts in certain matters, and so on. And after 20 plus years, I'm in this region and in this, industry, it still fascinates me. The amount of, information, the innovative ideas, and these discussions, and I thought, why not to share it with whomever is interested.
It's a real great initiative that you have, and as I told you before, it's a pleasure to open your discussion.
Yes, you're the first.
Record it in a nice setup studio of your office.
Thank you.
Keep going, because I believe it's, as you well say, we miss many recordings, no? Of course, always we have our big computer on our minds, no? But on our big hard disk, no? But to be recorded and to share with our colleagues and social network, it's amazing, no? And it will keep forever, no?
Yes, okay. Absolutely. Please tell us more about you and Pacifica. That's...
But I'm here in the country, in the region 18 years already. Nice. I came with 28 now. You can make it your calculation. How now? We start our journey in Qatar for 9 years, and after that we moved to the Emirates. Since that years, of course, I traveled too much to UAE. But you don't forget that in 2016-17 it was the tension also between the countries, and they were blockage, and we preferred we were almost forced to move to Dubai because the business was more here that time in Qatar. And we start a new journey here in UAE, and since the last 9 years. And Pacifica started as an interior renovation, fit-outer, as you know, designer and fit-outer for villas, commercial also, like offices, apartment, like that. But since COVID, we start the journey with the sport construction, no? Specialized in Padel, which, in Spain, thanks God, we are a pioneer together with the Argentinian, but manufacturing-wise, we are stronger, and we are giving very... big networking also of manufacturing, big working in the worldwide. From Spain is it's more easier to send worldwide. No? And yeah, I make it some connection with some factories in Spain, and yeah, we are working here with the paddle. And after that, of course, we open more our services to tennis, badminton, pickleball in the last couple of years. No? That we can discuss also about the pickleball. That I think it's a sport to be also considered, because, by the way, it's sharing the size of badminton. No? Then when you have a badminton court, you can maybe have a pickleball court, no? In the same business. No? Then you are booking from two ways of two sport guys. No? Yeah, and since 2020, from the pandemic, I have that date recorded. Unfortunately, we opened the sport division. That I think that's why we are today here to discuss more about our sport division and the collaboration and the good things that can be with your great firm, which is Domer as well, no? Because I believe the product that you have in terms of seasonal reduce the there is an investment for that, but after that there is a recovery that I believe we should to discuss later on.
Yes, absolutely. It's a fantastic journey. Of course, you learn a lot through all these years, and you passed through so many. I think years here are more intense. 1 year in the GCC, you learn so many things, and because projects are so fast and delivery times are much shorter than everywhere else, and you accomplish so many things in a smaller period.
Yeah, especially also the mixing of nationalities, no, that you have.
Yes.
This is amazing. This is something that since I was a kid in Marbella, in my place in Malaga, when I was on vacation there, I see many British guys, many French, many German, and I like it always to be in touch with them. No, with my limited Spanish that days. No, now I improve little bit more, not much more, but I improve little more the English. No, and I was fascinated always with this environment of international. No, and Emirates or the GCC in general. No, it's giving you that opportunity, and I couldn't miss it in my life. I think this is my home. No, of course, home is Spain, is my Malaga, my Antequera where I born, and my Marbella where I live, used to live. But Dubai or Emirates is the place to be if you have these feelings of international relation and business relation with expat.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Of course, you're Spanish, and I think Spain as a country is one of the leading countries in almost every sport. Talking about, football, even basketball.
Ice hockey.
Ice hockey, but yeah, paddle, tennis, Formula One, and that comes with many, of course, accumulated experiences. And, I came to know about paddle a few years back, and I thought it's a new sport. But then when you search a bit, you realize many decades have been.
Yeah, it was, I remember when the first time I played paddle, it was I was 8 or 9 years, it was 1989. In Marbella, in our community, it was a tennis court. And one day, you are a kid, they came and they start making the block works and they put it a fence. I said, what are these guys are doing in our tennis court? No? Say, no, this is a new sport. And I believe there is somebody in the community, friends of my parents for sure, that they believe in the paddle, because in some areas in Puente Romano, I think the big hotel of Marbella, they put it in the 87, 88, a paddle court. And this guy, he used to play there. And he wanted to make it in the community, that one. But nobody understands that one. No? And the history is there, but it was completely different sport. It was with the walls behind that. There is still in Spain wall. Maybe you go sometime in Spain and you will face the wall, no? The concrete wall, no? As they say in Arabic, the taboo, no? The block walls. That you don't find in the GCC, for example. I believe in Europe, in the new countries like Sweden, that it was massive, or Germany, Italy, France. You don't see this kind of blocks court. Also, we used to play on top of the acrylic existing tennis court, and we played, I remember, with the normal fence normal that you are seeing in any community, just to make the partition. It was another sport, but yeah, we start like that, and of course till now with the new technology of floorings, the performance glasses, that we we are fixing now. It's a different sport, but you see how the sport has been booming, no? But yeah, in Spain, as you taking in consideration your question, yeah, I think it's where they start all this one, but it came ups down also in Spain. I don't think that in Spain since the 80s, end of the 80s, it was crazy. No, I think the 2000 to 2010 also it was a little bit slowing down, and after coming back. Don't ask me why, but it was something, no, because when you start with for example, US with the pickleball, no, they are coming in crescendo, no, they are coming increasing, no? the court like that. But in Spain was a little bit, of course, in the last 15, 20 years in Spain, from 2000, let's say 2005, it's massive, no?
Yeah, that's fantastic. Look, from our side as Domer, as you know, we are manufacturers of different materials for building envelopes, specialized mainly in polycarbonates and fiberglass. And for the past few decades, we are doing the envelopes for industrial and commercial buildings, logistic parks, airport terminals, metro terminals, and train stations, industrial units, and so on. Yes, of course, yes, plane hangars and all that. And then recently, in the past 5-6 years, we've been receiving a lot of inquiries, and we've done a lot of projects for swimming pools, for paddle courts, as a building, basketball courts, a lot of sports-related complexes. And we have started to realize that these, as everything else in this region, this conventional, put a very old warehouse and put some court inside, and isn't the ideal way to do things, But they need a very nice building in compliance to the, green building regulations and, the fire properties and even aesthetically, the architectural aesthetic is very important. And we started seeing, a lot of inquiries come towards us, and we started supplying so many, and we started a little bit doing small researches and seeing what this really industry is missing. How can we really contribute, apart from just beautifying the existing building, what we really could do. And we have, through our very small studies, and because personally, I started developing an addiction to paddle. Not that I'm great, but, I started playing a lot. It's kind of addictive, because you do your cardio. It's not the normal boring for me, the gym, which you go on a machine and try to spend 1 hour and you can't. But it's very nice because you socialize, you meet a lot of people. We started digging. Maybe I can share a little bit of information on the screen. In the GCC, there is almost 2,600 paddle courts. Saudi have over 1,100 paddle courts, 400,000 players of paddle. UAE, almost 900 or 950 paddle courts, 250,000 players estimated. Kuwait is maybe 560 courts, more or less, and so on. And the number is there. And the GCC presents very large percentage in comparison to the entire Asian continent, and it's keep on growing. The growth is there. Almost every day I see that there is a new...
I believe there is some countries, for example, Qatar. Qatar was one of the pioneers.
Yeah, of course.
I've been there, and I know that there is some investors there that today they are still pushing hard, that they start growing Padel. When you have it here, when I was traveling, 2016, 2017 or 15, Emirates Golf, they have it, the outdoor, 2 court outdoor. Now they have 12 outdoor. Yeah. We'll talk about outdoor later. And it was very hard for me to play here once I coming back from Qatar. These trips that they used to come here, no? But the thing is now the limitation, no? Qatar is Qatar, no? I mean, the population is what they have. You cannot increase the court because at the end it can collapse, no? Means that Bahrain, Kuwait also, it was massive. 2021 to 2020 to 2023 was crazy how we sell court in Kuwait, no? It came already. There is some memes there on Instagram. You can see that if you're walking in Kuwait, you can stop with a paddle court, no? But there are countries like Saudi Arabia, of course, because they are massive, and still they are in the process of the paddle education, let's say, no? They have great clubs also there. And UAE, no? UAE, of course, we didn't say that, we cannot say that we are still in a maturity market, no? We can say that we already start, no? The cage, it's open, but still we need some maturity times to be, no? Which is, there is already let's say, still there is gap for new clubs. It depends. We can take later where is the best location, or what do you think about location, or outdoor, indoor. This is something, another question. We'll do that. But I think Saudi, of course, with the numbers that you give, if you make it the proportion, is a country that it's going to be in the GCC more developer in the next 5 years.
Yes, because it is always fascinating for me to see that there is always a new club, a new
Saudi, Kuwait, 2,100. But
yes,
more than half of them are UAE and Kuwait.
Yeah.
That's why I'm telling you, Saudi have still a big gap to reach for population and for the extension of
but even in the UAE, Antonio, you know, I play almost every day. There are paddle courts almost everywhere, in every hotel, in every community. There are so many.
Yeah,
in Al Quoz area in Dubai alone, there are so many, hundreds of clubs and courts, and yet they are almost all of them busy. You know, in peak hours, they are almost busy.
This is peak hours. Huh? What time you go? You go after work, after 6 o'clock, or early morning. There is a gap there, especially for the outdoor clubs.
Yes,
that they are suffering for certain timing.
Yes.
Not talking about because the weather condition. We are almost in summer already, no? We changed the weather 2-3 weeks ago, no? Or 3-4 weeks ago. But it's also for the sun. Some people cannot. I mean, even if there is 23 degrees, they don't want to play with the sun, no?
Yes.
That from 9 o'clock till 4 o'clock is big, no? There are certain timing in the outdoor clubs that could be considered. For the indoor one, I agree with you. Of course, peak time you cannot book.
Yeah.
Early morning also is difficult now to people before going to work, because many people are working online from home work like that. They are playing during the morning. Also, there are many private classes during the morning like that they are recovering. But for the outdoor one, they are suffering more in that timing. No?
Yeah, and these were a little bit shocking percentages which we came across during our research, that 55 to 70% of the courts are outdoor. Only 20 to 30% of the courts are indoor. And additional to that, 10 to 20% are these semi-enclosed, maybe with a tent or, you know. So basically, if you put these numbers together, you have more than 75% of the courts are outdoor or having some sort of a shade, covered roofing, maybe with a tent style or and so on. And I believe that's where the opportunities lie. And I think this is where we felt that we could contribute more from Domer to provide solutions where we could clad those buildings, not like these conventional, very expensive, huge investments of major warehouses where it requires tremendous infrastructure, MEP, and so on. No, maybe more of seasonal buildings where it's cladded with a very advanced and stylish architecture made of insulated polycarbonates with the perfect shading to allow right, healthy, natural light to get into the building. And in fact, we have done few of these beginning of the year in Saudi Arabia, and it was for a very major corporation which they wanted to build their own courts, and we have done a fantastic job there. The buildings look amazing, allowing natural healthy light to get into the building. And to get a consistent lighting, we have added sensors hooked to the artificial light, where, let's say, if you have a cloud passing or a rainy day, or let's say an early morning or late hours, that sensor checks how many lux there is available, and the missing, information, the missing, let's say, the lux which requires, it gives the signal to the artificial light to compensate. So you always have consistent lighting inside the court. Majority of the light comes from a natural light, the best light in the world, which is, the natural sun. And then the artificial light just compensates. And we saw that there is a lot of, interest there.
Yeah, definitely. You before to start the conversation, you show me the product. You introduce me. You introduce all your what you can do, for this industry. And one of the questions is, okay, Tatios, if I'm going to smash, in the rackets, badminton, even badminton, you sometimes have to push up. How you manage? It was one of my questions. How you manage, because at the end, this polycarbonate, it's giving through to our listeners or our viewers how you can manage this. You say tinting, no? Means that there is some kind of tinting that the natural light. Okay, if you are in a swimming pool, if you are in a football court, I believe that not many times you go with your view up to play. No, I mean there is no interface, but technically, many people maybe they're asking how with polycarbonate or with a skylight you can manage to avoid that vision disruption when they are putting the head up for a smash, for example, or to make a looping or whatever. No?
Yeah. So the main differences, let's say, in comparison to glass or to open roof, is diffusion. So we diffuse the light in the best way possible to make sure that there is an equal lighting where the sunlight comes direct to the roof and the roof will disturb. And
you will not see the point.
You won't see that point bright. Hence, you will not have this problem of the ball comes to you trying to smash, and then there is a very bright point in the ceiling where it will prevent you from seeing or missing the ball, and that could be kind of frustrating. Sometimes an excuse for me, a bad player like me, but for a better player, I think that's
for us the artificial light. Imagine the natural one. No? But when you combine this sensor, also it's amazing because the cost effect. I mean, LED lights is not a big consumption, no? That we have nowadays because the technology of the LED in terms of consumption is very low, no? Or not like the previous one, downlight or whatever we use, or the halogen previous one, no? Of course, the big consumption in the warehouse are the ACs, no?
Correct.
When they are in the summertime and they are running, we know that this energy for the invoice and the bill is increasing so much. No? But it's very important and it's very nice to understand that with your system also, I mean, we can play in the morning and we can play 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock in the morning, and we can play 7, 8 o'clock with the same environment lighting wise. No, it's really
so
amazing.
lighting wise, of course, you get all this diffusion also to prevent having a shade from the direct lighting, and it's much better to play, let's say, of course, with the great natural lighting. And at the same time, all these panels are very highly insulated, so of course you wouldn't need to put a huge AC unit to maintain.
If we make it a comparison with the sandwich panel that we use as contractor, insulation-wise, what is the values of a sandwich panel and your material if we want to say, okay, insulation, but we believe, because there is the foam in the middle of the sandwich.
Of course.
And it's supposed to, but you have technically calculations, no?
I mean, with the polycarbonate, of course, you could reach the same values of, let's say, in comparison to a normal PIR panels. U values maybe could be 0.3, 0.4. Just talking about U value, we could reach that using polycarbonate panels. However, I'm not sure, let's say, cost-wise, that would be viable unless the project is huge and the investors are ready to do it for But talking about an average investor, compromising a little bit on heat insulation, but getting it on a better architectural building, better lighting, much better design of a building.
With the tinting,
with the
you
tinting,
can manage also this.
Of course,
right?
Of course.
The heat and also it's very nice that when you show me also some renders or some videos that you make it before, how nice they looks the clubs at night.
Yes, of course.
Because you can manage with a different lighting for the roof.
Absolutely.
Purple color, green color, blue color, red color.
Absolutely. There's no comparison. So one of them is...
looking wise from outside.
Yeah,
when
of course.
You go to any Padel indoor club, let's say in Alcuz, you see a warehouse.
Yes,
but
exactly.
If I see a warehouse with a roof illuminated, it's giving me another mood to come into the club.
Of course, that's the key. At the end of the day, for an investor, he or she would like to have the best return on investment of the investment, and there where you might pay a couple pennies more on electricity bill in comparison to a normal regular warehouse, let's say, made of concrete and polyurethane panels. However, you would recover that with way more bookings and better club, let's say, to have this natural light.
Because of course the lighting, the natural lighting.
Yeah, of course, that is, and beautiful building, fantastic architecture. As you said, you can be combined with. In the morning, you have a natural light getting into the building, and in the evening, you are having like some sort of, a masterpiece of a building.
When we design a sport club, in this case a racket club or paddle tennis or whatever, we are facing big problem to design the ceiling. because if you have not your polycarbonate, you have to struggle your mind how it will going to look. Okay, we have to paint it in one color, but how it will look, the ductings, the ducting will be, it depends of the shape of the warehouse. No, sometimes we are facing this challenge for us as designer or contractor. No, how will looks like the ceiling, which is very important also in the club. No, and 70% of our project, I have to say, of course, the firefighting should be by regulation in red color, but we used to paint it in black or dark gray or something to hidden all this one. But I believe that with the with your product, polycarbonate, it's completely another dimension.
Yeah, totally different dimension. So
and design-wise, mechanical engineering design-wise, we have to think if we are going to put polycarbonate, where the lines of the lighting to avoid less disruption, no? For the lighting like that must to be recalculated very good, very precise to give that technically, no?
Yes, of course.
Looking to your product, no?
Yes, of course. For us, mainly, as you rightly put it there, most of the buildings we design the entire roof. Let's say this type of projects, which are very architectural, concentrated projects. The roof is the center of attention. They look at the roof and they see fantastic, very beautiful steel structure covered by very nicely, illuminated ceiling, which is the same as the roof from and that's fantastic. And show a bit later maybe the photos on how these projects look and fantastic. And at the same time, there is no huge cost difference of making. Always say that an ugly roof to a beautiful architectural roof. There is not much of a huge impact, where people will have to say, oh, these type of roofs will cost us a kidney to do, and that's never gonna be viable for, let's say, a sport complex to have, because of course we do different type of projects where much higher in value, let's say, where investors used to pay the extra penny, to invest, but also we have very great solutions where we could, adapt to meet the budgets.
We are in an exclusive country, and you see the massive clubs that they are opening here in Dubai.
It's incredible.
Then I believe that for this massive investment, maybe the polycarbonate, maybe the investors, or us as designers as well, let's say, I have to be honest also, that we don't know nowadays. That's why we are sitting here today, not to know more about the polycarbonate, how we can use the carbonate. It's full roof, it's by skylights, it's the plenty of solutions that we have. And also we were discussing before to start as well the resistance, we have heavy rainings the last 2 years, no? All these resistant, waterproof, no? That you show me the system clip that is completely isolated from water. No? This thing is very good to be here for us to understand and to can propose to our potential client in the future, because our clients are exclusive clients.
Yes.
And the roof is part of our design, Then to understand that you can give us some kind of alternative, and we understand that the price definitely should be.
Sometimes it could be even more affordable. So what we have done in the past, let's say, couple decades, we are here, and in industrial buildings, things are very, very competitive. Yeah, it's we have to be very competitive. At the same time, we have to provide very premium solutions, and that journey taught us to be really. To work a lot on our engineering, and today our engineering, we are more engineering firm than being manufacturers today.
I see your full office working with AutoCAD and all your
and we design in 3D and 2D, and we have a lot of softwares to calculate all the weak points which could come. Especially we do a lot of airport terminals, airplane hangars, and couple drops there is a major problem, to have in these MROs and all that, and this is where we have developed great systems to match specifically for the GCC region, to maintain all this harsh weathering, the sand abrasion, the huge change in temperature between summer and winter, morning, evening, to take these very high temperatures, to have fantastic heat insulation, all that. So we have done all that, and also this type of material are very flexible. It could curve, it could be tapered, twist, and yes, that's why now we are trying to be more into this very specific niche market of smaller sport complexes in comparison to these massive industrial, projects. But we like these type of challenges.
I believe that it will be a great niche and a great opportunity for you as manufacturer to show to people like us or to the good designers, sport designers that there are in the country, even abroad, because you are working already almost worldwide,
Yes,
as
correct.
you told me before. And for sure consider it, that option, as in the quotation that we give to the clients. This is the looking with and this is the looking without, then they can also compare, and you can give, as designer, it's good also for us to open options to the client. No, it's not A, B, C. No, it's A, B, C, D, E, and F. We
Yes.
have more range of decision. No, it's not.
But
this
you,
basic.
look, for us, in industrial and commercial buildings are a little bit different, because in commercial, usually investors, they consider more their clients and to make the building look very posh and so on. In industrial, now in the GCC, they are also going to that direction. I remember 10, 15 years ago, it is a factory of whatever, I mean, steel casting. They wouldn't care how the facade will look like. It's just a building. But today we are providing, very, let's say, attractive architectural facades to even industrial buildings. I mean, how do you see the situation in sports, let's say? Is it making really, genuinely, is it really making an impact if your building looks beautiful? And apart from the performance, would that really get them better clients, more clients, better return on investment? Do you really think?
That is a really, really good question and really difficult question to is at the same time to reply. No, in my experience, talking me as Antonio, we are in Dubai. We are not in in another place that the people going just to play and back. We are in Dubai. Dubai or UAE, let's say Abu Dhabi, we make it that, in Fujairah, in Sharjah, in all the Emirates we used to work. But let's focus now here, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, okay? The people, they don't go to play and back. They want to socialize more. Of course, there are players that by family reasons, time reasons, or their mood reasons, they want just to share 90 minutes, take a shower, and go back home. But in this country, as we are also in this friendly environment, people are looking for a social club. That's definitely. I believe if you tell me how percentage, I didn't count, no? But I believe that there is for sure more social paddle players or rackets player, let's say, than player itself than going to the sport and back home. No? I don't know in English how you can say that, but it's just for a sport.
Yes.
Or a sport plus, let's say.
Yeah.
More than 50% for sure. There is more sport plus than just a sport. No? Answering your question, of course, if we have more sport plus players, means that they want to socialize more. They want to buy properly clothes in a nice shop, properly racket, properly shoes, nice matcha cafe, matcha. The cafe now matcha. It's for the price of matcha, it's almost the same like some liquors in the GCC, but in Dubai, no? But definitely, you and me, we've been playing together in the massive
Yes.
clubs, no? That they are doing here. And we've been playing as well in non-massive, super top. No. I believe that all have their clients, of course, big investment, they need a big return, right?
Yeah.
They need many ways to fund the investing. It's not only the 90 minutes that you play, it's not only the paddle coach that you are charging, it's not only the polo, it's not only, but it's all of them. It's a sum of many things. There are clubs, Tatios, that they don't need this sum because they are affordable rental of the warehouse, the DIWA bill or the electricity bill is okay, and they can manage only with the booking and few coaching, let's say, no? But again, Dubai is a sport plus country, and definitely the big projects are every time more on our desk, on our tables, because they are investors that not only want to return back the investment. That definitely nobody here is putting 1 dirham to recovery after 1 year half. No, they want to recovery 1.5 after 1 year. No? But they are doing their business as well there. They are big investors. We have big clients that they are not opening sport clubs. They are opening sport clubs.
It's more of a social club.
No, we are in a Maglish culture. We have to understand where we are. We are in a Maglish culture. Maglish, where the locals, the Emiratis, all the GCC, they used to meet in that rooms to sharing conversation. That Maglish in the new generation are coming to the sport clubs. Not only racket, which is the gyms. They are proper gyms. You know, these Hyrox now workout. The local community also are coming to that.
Very interesting.
Yeah, and this Maglish are moving to the sport clubs. Let's say, as I told you, racket or not racket, no? And this is something that sport plus, we should to put it a plus more because we are in a gathering culture at the end of the day.
Correct.
And this is something that I believe we have to notice, no? That this Arabic, where we are in a culture, is giving to the sport also this kind of relations. Of course, the Magli was more private. Only my friends, my family, my close friends. But now in these new generations, they are moving now to the sport club to see, it's my cousins here, my brother, but I meet Antonio here. What is Antonio? What is Tatios doing here? This is the perfect harmony that are having in the GCC from my honest experience, no? That we are at the end in a country that belongs to the Emiratis. We need to also match with them, no? We have to
absolutely
respect this, but we can make it business with them as well, no? And the best way is a healthy way, and it's a really, really interesting way. Instead of to park your car, going to the Maglish, eat some snacks, maybe shisha or maybe tea, no? But in a sport club, it's completely different, no?
With matcha.
With matcha, with the new matcha product.
Absolutely.
That there is maybe I think the business plan now they have to put cafeteria and the matcha as a separate item in the business plan. It's incredible.
Absolutely.
When my daughter's asking me for matcha, I say, next week, this week we don't have too much money, girls, to order matcha, no?
Okay. Before we close this, Antonio, I have a question in my mind. I always thought how doable it is. You know, sometimes in manufacturing, when we sit in offices, we always design and say this definitely will work, and we do calculations, researches. And how doable do you think it is to cover majority of these 70% uncovered, let's say, paddle courts or even tennis courts? Do you think it's a large challenge practically? I mean, manufacturing-wise, I can manufacture very easily the entire building. How challenging it is to really execute these type of projects?
I should to say, so a good question, but in my opinion, you as the manufacturer, no, of your great product, maybe in that outdoor paddle club that they are in the standing. Standing, I mean, let's say they play in Champions League, but outdoor. Why? Because this guy has all the things that they have there, maybe 90% all the items that they have for the shopping, for the polo, for this, for the cafeteria, they need, because the location-wise is really good, and they are paying big rents or big contract every year, and they need a part of this one, but they have a problem of 4 months. And this is definitely, everybody knows that, from, let's say, middle of May to middle of October, we said this in May, June, July, August, September, we have 4 to 5 months that they are struggling. Yes. We say before, the small clubs that they just need the coaching and the rent of our 90 minutes play, they will not be too much affected. They will, but they will not be maybe in their business plan too much because they calculate it already. Mm-hmm. And they can manage it. But the guys that they are outdoor competing with the top guys indoor, they are suffering much more. Challenging for these clubs is, of course, it's investment, because without money we cannot accomplish, or we cannot even think how are we going to do this one. And the second one is the space. Tatios, the space is very important. Some outdoor clubs are limited space for to cover it properly. We are facing, we have many inquiries, as I told you before.
Yes, of course.
We received it in the 2-3 years inquiry for enclosure. But we are facing problem with the foundations, no? Because the foundation was not matching the corridors or was not matching the covering. And there is always a challenge, no? But we found also clubs that potentially can do it, and they maybe are thinking to do it because they, as I told you, the big clubs indoor, massive bill of electricity for sure, massive investment, but not the same like the outdoor. But that, I think, are the clubs that should be focused, no, in the top one outdoor. That, of course, space-wise, they are affordable, or they have the space to do the foundation for the columns, no? Because it's not just the polycarbonate, but you need the structural, you need your calculation, and you need the routing, no, for the corridors, these that they are not affecting, no? But I think there is huge potential for the existing one, and massive for the new project that we studied before, a couple of them before we start, no? That we have on the hand, and let's see how we can do it, because now is the time to the clubs that they are starting to design the warehouse to add the polycarbonate on top, no? Of course, this is, I think, the two targets that you should, and we are facing on our tables.
We will do it together, Antonio. I'm not interested to do it alone.
I have no doubts that if polycarbonate are coming on our roof, it will be Domer one. That's no doubts.
Thank you. Pleasure having you, Antonio, and thank you for your support always, and for the partnership. And for the friendship, definitely.
That's forever, with business or without business. You know that very well.
I know.
Amigo, muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Ciao.
See you.